Okay, so again, for those of you that weren't here earlier, I do thank you for attending today's session. I would also, based on the overwhelming attendance rate and some feedback, I'm very confident that these will occur after each release, especially our significant releases, which I deem 3.2 and 3.3 to be. Okay, so I am going to begin. If you do have, due to the overwhelming amount of attendees, we may not have time for questions, especially during the demonstration. However, the moment that you leave, we will send you a survey link where we ask you for some feedback, including questions and including some suggestions. One thing I do love about our Cloudoffis clients is never short of suggestions, and hopefully you'll agree that we are implementing the major ones as we go. Okay, so here is what we're going to cover today. Okay, now I'm not going to go in this order, although I'm very excited about the PDF viewer. I'm actually going to demonstrate, firstly, our multi-factor authentication. Okay, so this is based on some recent articles from the ATO where they haven't said it's mandatory, but they have strongly suggested that it is implemented, and our partners class, BGL, have all activated this, so we have as well. Okay, so for those of you, it is still a choice. For those of you that would like to have that additional level of security, all you do here is, I'm just going to go to my auditor portal. All you do is you go to your profile. Okay, you can see that you have multi-factor authentication now here on the right, and there are three options. Essentially, we do indicate here that it's for Google Authenticator. I can confirm that if you have a preferred app that you use for authentication, it will work. I've tested no less than 12, and they all read this QR code, and we integrate and we accept all of the codes that are generated. Okay, for those of you that are new to this, you would just download an app of your preference, take a select add, take an image of this QR code, and then the moment that you do that, we ask you to enter the first code and enter the password, and each time that you log in, you will actually open up your phone or your computer where you keep this app and enter the code provided. Okay, we also have the text, so each time you log in, we'll send you a text with a code as well as mail. Okay, now you can actually activate as many of these as you like. If you activate QR code and text message and then perhaps lose your phone or something occurs, we do have an override option where we can send a code to your email address on the login page. Okay, so there will be a help document created for the multi-factor authentication, and I will say as well that this isn't just for our auditors. You can see here that I'm on the auditor portal. We also have this functionality available for our external administrators. So our non-paying clients, your clients essentially, have access to the multi-factor authentication as well. Okay, so moving on to the next step. This is something that we have received some overwhelming feedback for, which is providing the ability to very easily, very quickly view last year's job. Okay, so what I've created here is on this particular portal. Okay, so as the auditor, what I've got is currently I have a 2017, just catching up now. Okay, so I have a 2017 job and a 2018 job. Okay, so from the 2018 job, I'll just quickly open that up just to give you an idea of how previously you would navigate, and some of the suggestions that I gave during training. You can very easily find the previous year's job in this search field from your fund dashboard. However, when you open it, it opens in the same tab, and it actually, I have encouraged people in the past to log into Cloudoffis twice so that they're able to compare the different years. It does work. That method does work. However, of course, errors occur, and people accidentally create changes on the wrong year, sullying, timestamps, and so we've actually created a solution. All right, so what I'm going to do here is go into the 2017 job that is still open for me. Okay, and I'm also going to demonstrate something else that I think you will all find very handy. So within my plan, I've actually created a note here. Okay, so I've created a message here just to say, yes, I researched in the first year and all was well. Many of you have suggested that we can carry these, messages forwards or perhaps even tags forward. That isn't available yet. However, this is let's call it a workaround, but an additional tool for you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because this job is still open and active, if I selected it, it will just open in the same tab and I can make changes. However, so I can demonstrate the read-only option that we've added, I'm going to mark this job as completed. So this is the 2017 job that is now completed. Okay, and I'm going to move on to the 2018 audit job. Okay, so now that it is in my completed queue and I work on the 2018 audit, as I progress through the audit, if I need to refer back to 2017, it's very simple now. So all I do is click this, the actual name from the fund dashboard. That will open up my fund details. And if I select audit files, it will show me the previous years that I performed. Because this one is completed, when I click on it, it actually opens in a new tab. I'll just minimize my screen if we can just pretend that I'm using two screens here. Okay, so I still have my 2018 job active, yet my 2017 job is on my other screen. Now this 2017 audit job, it's important to note that I cannot make any changes. Okay, as most of you know, I can always unlock the file if I need to make changes, but preference being when we're just doing a comparison, I can't make changes. I can't create timestamps. I don't have the search option available to search and tag documents. Okay, so what I have here is I have the 2018 job that I'm working on with my previous year's audit job in read-only mode, should I need to compare. Further to that, this demonstration, that note that I made. Okay, again, we are working to create a better solution to enable you to carry comments forward, but in the meantime, while we create that, if you have the previous year's audit job open on your other screen, you can actually click the message that you write, which is something that you wish to carry forward, and instead of typing it out again in the new year, you can simply copy from there and just paste over here. Okay, so again, it will remove the need for you to use an external document. It will provide the ability for you to actually make comparisons. Now, many clients also ask me, how do I provide a complete overview? So how do I remind myself of things that were perhaps that occurred in the previous year? And that is where I would suggest using our analytical procedure. Okay, and this was actually suggested by many clients. Doing some refresher training, they told me this is how they were doing it. Okay, so on our analytical procedure page, there is a summary to enter a summary of what occurred, as well as a conclusion. Now, this is where you would add important things that you need to look out for next year. Okay, so again, all of you know that I'm not an auditor, and I would struggle to provide some examples here, but you have the ability in read-only mode to open up your analytical procedure and view what you wrote here in the previous year very quickly. Okay, so I hope that many of you agree that that addition will provide some significant improvements in efficiency for you and remove the danger of accidentally changing the wrong audit if you do have them open on both screens. Okay, and you don't have to unlock your audit job to be able to review it. Okay, so moving forward, I would like to actually, while I have this job open, I would like to actually also demonstrate a new addition that we've had, which is the ASIC search. Okay, so this is available in two areas, and again, completely optional, 100% your choice. Many clients have come to me and get this at different prices. We have provided what we thought was industry standard, always open for feedback. But it is completely a choice. At no means is this mandatory. And to order and instantly attach the ASIC extract, all you do is click on this button from the member entitlements page. You can enter your matter number and ABN, select order now, and within seconds, that is attached by a PDF and accessible here. Okay, this is also available on our review checklist within the SIS area. As you know, this does take a while to open this page. There is so much data here. Plus, I do believe I'm suffering a little bit of lag. Okay, so from the SIS checklist, once that expands, you'll see that from 17A, I also have the exact same functionality to order that ASIC extract. Okay, now we have also added the ability to order a title deed. Okay, now as luck would have it, I actually don't have a demonstration fund that is both corporate and has a rental property. So what I'm going to do now is mix and match a little, and I'm actually going to run through very quickly the new API integration that we have with SuperMate, and I'm going to create an audit job that has a property so I can then demonstrate the title deed for you. And to do that, I'm going to use both portals. Okay, so I'm now going to be the administrator. If I just move this here. Okay, so from an administrator point of view, as you can see, administrator up here, my photo. On this particular portal, I actually have auditor portal and Albert Einstein, because I do think that you guys are all geniuses, some of the things that you spot. Okay, so moving forward, those of you that use SuperMate previously, you'll know that it was desktop. Everything was manual. To create a client was manually typed in. To create an audit job, you would actually have to upload an Excel trial balance and general ledger. No longer the case. Okay, so to do that, very similar for those of you that are using BGL in class, you'll find that this is exactly the same. So again, as the administrator, so the external firm, I'm going to import client details. Okay, instead of manually typing, which is what I would do at this step, click a button. I'm then taken back into Cloudoffis and presented with a list of funds that my credentials have access to. Okay, I have 9, I'm sure you will have hundreds. So I'm just going to use our search function over here to narrow my results, and I'm going to import final demo superfund. I'm going to get a message to say it already exists. That's because I did this earlier just to test to make sure. You will get a message to say that import is complete. Okay, now if we have this button here to go back to the client list. Okay, and this is a demonstration on how quickly your external clients, if you're not using this functionality of Cloudoffis and you're creating the audit jobs yourself, I hope for any software users, especially in the cloud, that this will raise some questions as to how you can initiate this, and I can very easily point you in the right direction at the end of this demonstration. Okay, so I've just imported all of the fund details. Now I'm going to create an audit job. Again, I am still the external firm. What I'm doing is I'm going to select 2018 here. You can see it does default to year end. This button here allows you, if your client switches software, it allows you to change up software so you can keep the same historical data for many years to come if they switch software. Okay, and I'm going to assign it externally, of course. I'm going to assign it to access testing and keep myself as the administrator. I now have the option to upload my documents. I'll just quickly open that up. There you go, magic, it's the documents that I need. Okay, now one of these documents is already electronic, the other is OCR, so I'm just going to process that OCR, hop out of that, click next, and that's it. I've created the audit job. So as an external firm, I've just created an audit job. That document that I just attached, I think there was a total of 200 pages, yet I'm not waiting for those to upload. You can see that they are converting over there. I can now move on to the next job. Now, in case you didn't notice, I've now switched over to the auditor portal. Okay, so from the auditor's perspective, they now have this particular, in their audit job queue, they will see that Access Testing, the entity, has created an audit job for Final Demo Superfund and assigned it to them. Okay, they then obviously have to assign it. So select the staff that now complete the audit. I will perform all roles because I'm so multi-talented. Okay, and then I'll select Process Audit Job. Now this is where another difference. So again, previously, you would have to manually type all of the client information. Now we bring it across in a matter of seconds. Previously, when I click this button and select the checklist, I would then have to manually upload an Excel trial balance of general ledger. Now, we just import it. Okay, so it does say that it may take some time. We put an exclamation mark there. Hopefully you'll agree, it doesn't actually take that long compared to what we have just extracted from SuperMate. Okay, so we've just built the entire audit in a matter of seconds. And one important thing to note is that from the auditor's perspective, at no stage was I asked for login credentials. Okay, we piggybacked off the API token authority that was created when the accountant, this particular entity, they were the only ones that entered their login credentials. Okay, now I will demonstrate in a moment. I'm getting sidetracked, so I want to go back to the title deed, but I will demonstrate in a moment the fact that we've created that job in this way using the new SuperMate integration, and this applies to class and BGL. I will demonstrate the query module as well. Creating jobs in this way opens up the external query module, which, if I'm being honest, is far superior to our internal query module. Okay, so now that I have created this job, as I mentioned, we do have some property on this one. So you can see that I have the ability here to order a title search. And as many of you know, and I've recently learned, the price varies dependent on state. So, and you enter the matter number and the reference, we will actually quote a price. So before any orders are made, we will actually quote a price for you so that you know everything before you order. And similar to the ASIC extra, at the moment that you order, within seconds, it is attached to this area and obviously is kept as a permanent record in the cloud for you related to this job. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is I am actually going to go to my cash at bank. Okay, I am going to just create a query, and I'm actually going to just pretend I don't have the statement. So I'm actually going to ask my external accountant, where is my bank statement? Very nicely, of course. And I'm using a shorthand, and I'll just copy and paste that there. Now, I don't want to inundate my accountant with a whole lot of emails as I progress through the audit. This is only my first section. I may have another 12 questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to publish it. Okay, and when I get to my listed investments, perhaps I don't have the consolidated statement. So I'm going to, well, it's not consolidated for this fund. I'm going to ask for my ANZ statement. Okay, so here I would actually, again, make it external, and there we go. What's a demonstration without some spelling mistakes? So I'll leave those there so we can all have a giggle. Okay, and again, I'm going to publish. Now, once I progress, once I go through the entire audit and I have, I've completed everything I can, and I know what I require from the external firm, from my dashboard, I can go to my queries and review points. So two ways. I've got it in this menu. If I go back to the dashboard, okay, now I can see that some of you are asking questions as you go. We may have some time at the end, and I will address those. Alternatively, we'll have a one-on-one conversation when you enter that question in the survey that we send through. I'm terribly sorry, but I just would not be able to keep up with all the questions as we're going. Okay, so moving on to the here we are, the queries. So there are two ways to access. You can go to queries and review points there, or you can click the links from your dashboard. So whether it's up here or to open, okay, that will take me to the menu that I require. I can see my external queries here. Okay, and now I click this one button. And the moment that I click that one button, we shoot off an email to the external party saying that final demo Superfund 2017 has outstanding queries. Just to give you an idea, I will just bring that across so that you can get an understanding. Okay, so this is the email that is generated from Cloudoffis, from No Reply at Cloudoffis, providing the data so we know who sent it, the company that has sent it if you are dealing with multiple auditors, the name of the client and the year of the fund, and we do provide a link. This isn't a direct link to the queries. It is a link that if you selected it, it would actually take you to the login page, just in case you're not logged in at the time. Okay, now sorry, if I go back from an administrator's perspective, got an option here to view all external queries. When I click on that, okay, I can separate by different clients. So it was access testing that email told me, and it was final demo Superfund that I have outstanding queries for. Okay, now many of you, our auditors on this particular demonstration know that currently, each time an accountant responds to your query, it triggers an email. Okay, we are working on adding the option for your clients to actually respond to your queries, and instead of clicking reply each time, they'll have an option, same as you do, reply an email or just reply, and once they answer all of your questions, click a button that will be located over here to notify you that they've answered all of your queries, and you will only get one email instead of an email for each query. Okay, so that is something that is definitely a trending suggestion and something that is being implemented. Okay, but now I do have the ability to say now attached, and I have two options as well. I can attach the document that they've asked for here. Okay, let's say, no, that's not what I want. I'll just use a different fund here that I know that I have. Okay, so I'm just going to attach ANZ Holding there and hit send. Okay, alternatively, I can say I have uploaded, and I'll demonstrate that in a moment. So I just send that. Okay, and I'll actually go to the audit job itself. So from the audit job queue, assigned audit jobs. Okay, as the external administrator, I have the ability to actually upload documents at any point. And if I choose to do it this way, I'll actually attach this. Okay, if there was OCR conversion required, I would get that option, and I could actually convert it for my auditor as I sent it. Okay, now further to that, further to those emails, something that many people are unaware of, and an area that we are sort of taking feedback to improve, is the notification option over here. Okay, so every time something is triggered by a connected firm, you have the ability to view all of your notifications. Okay, and when you click on the link, it will actually take you to that notification. Okay, so again, because I've opened it, they're still there, and I still have the ability to view all notifications with a hyperlink to each notification. It may prove more efficient than going to all external queries and using the filters that I have with my connected firms over here. Okay, now for those of you that haven't connected, I won't focus too much on this because this was part of a previous release. To connect is very easy. Actually, I will do it from the auditor's perspective. Okay, so from the admin menu, simply hit connect, connect new business, type in the ABN of your external entity. If they already exist as a Cloudoffis client, they will grant immediate access and they can create a job within seconds. If they don't exist, they will actually be provided with a registration page where we simply ask them for their name and their address. The moment that they actually agree, it's instant. They can start creating audit jobs for you in a matter of seconds. I think many of you who have been with Cloudoffis for a while agree the previous connection, registration first before you could connect, was a little clunky. All of that clunkiness is out of the equation now. Registration is instant. Okay, so moving on from that, I would also like to go through our date picker options. I know that some of our clients that are attending today are still using BGL Desktop. Okay, now BGL Desktop is still a manual task to create a client. So what I'm going to very quickly demonstrate is, for those of you that were using this, you know how difficult it was previously to enter a date based on your feedback and based on, I guess, common sense and logic. We have actually created the ability now for you, when you're using a desktop client, to either manually type in the date. So I can say the 1st of the 1st 2001, okay, and we will accept manually typed in dates, but you'll also see that due to the new picker, you can very quickly scroll down through the years and then select the date, as opposed to manually using the wheel on your mouse to scroll through the multiple years. Okay, so that is another enhancement that has been released with that was part of 3.2. Okay, now we are also going to go through the subscription module, and then I am saving the best to last. We're going to look at our new PDF viewer, and I'm going to take you through all of the new tools that are available in there. The feedback that we've received from our clients has been overwhelmingly positive. If you have any negatives, please raise them, because, as I always say, they're just as, if not more important than the positive feedback. Okay, so our new subscription portal. Now, this would only apply to our paying clients. Obviously, the administration is a completely complimentary portal. Okay, so when it comes time, so if you run out of files at any stage throughout the year, now this particular, I don't think I'm anywhere close to running out of files on this portal, and I am expiring, so obviously that being a test portal. But if I do require, if I think I'm going to do more than 995 files audits today, I have the ability at any stage to enter any number, select tab, and then I have the ability now to add to cart and select upfront monthly and subscribe. Okay, now this is only, of course, available for administrative users. Not auditors and managers have the ability to do that, only administrators. Okay, and the moment that I click subscribe, I am then taken to a confirmation. I won't do that so I don't confuse the team. Okay, but I'd also like to point out, if I use this other portal, okay, so I've actually allowed this portal to expire. If I go to my subscription here, okay, so previously I was using this particular portal as a paid portal. Now it's a free portal. But at any stage, if I'd like, I can actually click the renew button. Okay, so I'd like to think that most clients would actually renew prior to the expiry date so that they get their files to roll over. But in this example, I then select the package. So we have an Audit Essentials pack, which is 100. We also have an Audit Starter pack, which is 50. The moment that you select that, add to cart, you can then add as many files as you want for some of our larger clients. Okay, and obviously all of our pricing is tiered based on the amount that you choose to order. Okay, for further information, there obviously different prices, rules will apply to each of you. Please don't hesitate to reach out, but I will be reaching out, or myself and the team will be reaching out closer to your renewal period with instructions and offering assistance. Okay, now moving on to the PDF viewer. What I am going to do, actually while I'm on this page, sorry, I skipped a part there. While I'm on this page, you'll notice that we have a new tab, Documents Billing. Okay, now this is where if you ordered an ASIC extract or a title deed, this is where we would populate the data. So we'll provide you with the name and a link to the document, as well as the price you paid, and of course you will have the ability to expand that for invoicing purposes. Okay, so for those of you that do choose to use our new ordering system through Cloudoffis, this is where you will be able to access and track all of the orders that you've placed. Okay, so now going back to our audit jobs. Okay, and I can see we are still getting many questions, so I thank you for all of them, and I will have a copy of these as well, so I'll do my best to order them before close of business today. Okay, so from the Auditors Portal, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at that job, that Cloud Demo Fund 2 that I was looking at earlier. Actually, I realize now that this is 2018 and the data won't match. I'm just very quickly going to go back to my audit jobs queue. And as I explained earlier, at any stage when you complete a job, it's not completed forever. You do have the ability to unlock the audit file, which means I can continue to work on it. Okay, so now it'll be populated in my audit job queue. Okay, and I just, I know that the documents that I have attached are documents for 2017. It's been quite embarrassing looking for amounts that don't exist. Okay, so I'm starting with a very simple search for a bank account. I probably should have selected the correct one. Here we are. Okay, so I've got some cash at bank and I've got a term deposit. Now, nothing has changed here. The only difference is the speed. Again, overwhelming feedback with our new viewer. It wasn't just additional tools, but it was increased speed. Okay, so the moment that you click the amount, we very quickly find the associated PDF. You can see that I've got two versions. There was one page in my 67-page document that required OCR conversion. I don't need that one now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the original electronic version because there is a new feature that I would like to demonstrate. Okay, so I open up the document. As previously, it takes me to the page that actually has that amount on it, and it highlights it for me. Now, very quickly, you know, I can still use the zoom tools. I can still hold control and use the wheel on my mouse to zoom. Very important to note, many of you will be aware that previously the zoom and display settings would actually influence the placement of the tag. The tag would kind of sit on top of, and the zoom would play a part of where it actually appeared when the auditor was looking for it. That is no longer the case. Okay, so regardless of your zoom, regardless of your display settings, your tag will appear in the same spot. You know, even if you use very small text and your auditor has big Coke bottle glasses and needs to be zoomed 250%, it won't affect it at all. Okay, and for all of those auditors with glasses, I have glasses myself. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. But we also have some very quick tools. Okay, so at the moment, you'll probably agree that even if I close this down, I can't see it all. So what I want to do is, just so I can make sure that I'm about to tag the right spot, is I have two options. I can fit width, so I see it on an entire page, or if I have good eyesight, I can actually see the entire page. Okay, now again, it won't change anything regarding the tag. Now, many of you have already discovered this, but the tag option is up here on the right. I keep saying tag, used to be called tag, it's bookmark. So, okay, so click that button. The moment that I select, it then defaults to the name of the line item, and I have the ability to either override this or save. Okay, now as you guys know, we're not just, well, while we have this statement open, we're not just confirming the closing balance as at the 30th of June. There is a checklist that tells us to confirm that the name of the account is structured correctly and appropriate to the fund. Okay, so if that was the case, because it's on the same page, rather than placing another tag, I may choose to actually highlight that for the auditor. Okay, so that, and I can highlight this as well. So if I choose, it's not compulsory, but if I choose to do so, I can actually tag the page and highlight what I'm bringing the auditor's attention to. Okay, now I have jumped a little ahead because there are some other view tools that I'd like to show you, but I'd also like, again, it's a choice, not mandatory, but if there was something that was perhaps out of place, I now have the ability to add a comment, which I always had. However, if I made a comment that wasn't, that I then realized was, as I progressed through the audit, was probably a silly question and I didn't really want the auditor to see it, I now have the ability to delete. Okay, I can also edit. So for those of you that have been with us for a while, you would have realized that previously the comments would always appear on the right, and you had no ability to edit or delete them. Very important to note that when the auditor now comes in, they also have the ability to, they can't edit or delete your comment, but they can reply and respond. Okay, and if I wish, I can actually just close that down. Okay, so if, sorry, let me just demonstrate that. So if I have a comment and I click on it, double click on it, it'll open up that slide pane, so I don't have to have that open as I progress if I'm not paying attention to any comments. Okay, now further to that, again, it comes down to your own preference and eyesight. I'll be honest. We have this option here for the page layout. Okay, so many of our clients would like to work like so. Okay, and scroll through viewing 2 pages. If you have exceptional eyesight and you're really efficient, you also have the ability to view them quite small. Even though I'm viewing, you know, almost 6 pages here, that's at 45%, I can use the zoom tool over here, or again, holding control and using my mouse wheel to zoom in. Okay, whichever way you feel is more efficient for you, you have that option. Okay, now we still have the orientation buttons. Again, when you reorientate a page, it doesn't save. Okay, we always keep the document saved as its original version. That is how we keep the speed, because we're not saving a new version each time. However, what you'll find is when you do get landscape pages, because of this option here, let me just change that setting. Because of this option here, you know, your when you fit to width, the landscape will actually fit and it'll be quite readable. So I think you'll find that the rotating won't be as necessary as it was with our previous PDF version. Okay, now we also have the ability to open in full screen. It's a preference, it's available for you. I don't find many clients using it. Hit escape to remove that. However, over here is where we have some additional tools. Okay, so first of all, what I should have demonstrated when I first started is when we look for an amount, and I'm just going to go back a step, guys. Okay, so when I look for an amount, I'm going to try and find the same amount. Okay, and open up the document. You would know with the previous viewer, we had some arrows over here that will take you through to the next result. They're actually up in the top left, but these arrows, they don't have that functionality at the moment. Okay, it is something that we are going to tweak, but the way to actually scroll to the next result, if I had one, I don't actually have one for this amount, is just to click in this field and hit enter. Okay, now the catch there is that if you go past it, because I know that sometimes we, with 20 results, you might click it very fast because you know that the amount that you're looking for is down the bottom of your page. You know your clients, and some of them have reports at the top. They have a structure for the way that they put their documents, and perhaps you know that the statements is towards the end. Okay, so we have an additional tool over here. So this doesn't have to be expanded. This little toggle side panel. Okay, if I open that and I click the magnifying glass, okay, it's still searching for that same amount, and it will show me each time this amount appears on a page. Okay, so even if it was the same page, which I'll demonstrate in a moment, it will show me that the amount exists. Now, we are working with this to actually make it even more user-friendly. However, I think you'll find if you know that it's down towards the bottom of the doc, you would just go down here, click one of these, and then click enter from there to scroll through the next result. Okay, now many of our clients, and now this doesn't always occur, but many of our clients have accountants that are exceptional at their compliance work and the way that they build their PDFs. In fact, they actually tag the PDFs as part of their role, and they provide an electronic copy for the auditor. However, as you know, when you uploaded to Cloudoffis, you would lose all their hard work previously, and you would start from scratch to actually place your own tags. Okay, now of course you still place your own tags. That is you confirming that you've done the checks. However, we also bring across, if there are electronic PDFs that exist on the PDF document you upload, we bring those across. Okay, so what I am going to do is just close this one down and look for my term deposit amount. Same as what I was doing before. Okay, I'll open up the combined cloud document. Okay, it will take me to the right page, but if you could imagine with me, please, that it didn't take me to the page and it had me all the way down here, and I could see on this page, and I'll just quickly click the magnifying glass, I could see that there was maybe 13 different results, and I didn't feel like clicking them all, and I knew the accountant had already done the work for me. I could very easily click on their tag, their bookmark. I can't see the bookmark on the page, but it will take me to the page that they bookmarked. Okay, and then I'm able to place my tag next to the amount that I would like. Okay, now not many clients. We are actually looking at creating some preferences. We've been advised of some scenarios where this will work. Different people, different colors, that sort of thing. So that is something that is being explored at the moment. But you'll see that you have the ability to change the color, the style. Okay, you can even create your own colors. So whether it's the outside or the actual full color of the, let me just do that again. Okay, as I make it, I can make it red if I like. Okay, so I've got myself in a bit of a spot there. There we are. So the moment that I select the color and save, you'll see that it actually comes up red. Once I have placed that, let me just go back to this is something that I didn't intend on demonstrating on purpose for you. However, you've seen that I got myself a little stuck there. Now the reason is the moment I click my tag icon, I stay in tag mode. The moment I click my highlight option, I stay in highlight mode. Okay, now that's by design. So that you don't have to keep clicking it before you place an individual tag or highlight. To get out of the modes, once I've selected it, I just choose this pointer. Okay, so the pointer basically takes you back to simply being a pointer where you will have the option to change the styles, to change the colors, change the outlines, completely your choice. Okay, so many people won't take the time to change colors. However, it's there, and we are working on some preferences so that perhaps you will be able to have different people as different colors if you do have multiple preparers preparing and signing off before it gets to the auditor. Okay, now we also have, again, I can't imagine people requiring this. However, there is a download option once you are opening PDF, and you can also print. Okay, so that essentially covers all of the new tools that we have provided for you in Cloudoffis. Okay, and I think, I hope that many of you will agree that the overcoming the Zoom issue is massive. The ability to highlight was suggested by, I would say, 75% of our clients, and the improved efficiency to be able to edit, delete, and place comments on individual lines has now, we've overcome those previous clunky parts of Cloudoffis. Okay, so what I would like to do is before finishing up today is I really thought this was going to take me a complete hour. I have actually run through everything that I wanted to show you today, so I will just take the time to go through and answer some of the questions, if I may. So if I can address your question from a while ago, Melissa. With ASIC extract, if you order in the member area, can it also be attached to the SIS checklist? Melissa, currently, no. It will attach to wherever you order it from. However, based on initial feedback, that will be occurring. Okay, so just to confirm, what Melissa has asked is if we order, am I on the right job? Yes, I am. So if we order an ASIC extract from the member entitlements area, okay, will that also attach to the SIS 17A? The answer is currently no. Okay, but eventually, well, when I say eventually, soon, yes. Okay, so thanks for that question, Melissa. Okay, so Ethan has asked if there are any changes made by the accountant in the software, will the tags be affected? To answer that question, Ethan, thank you for that question. Many people don't know of this tool. However, those of you that know how efficient and how effective it is. Let's face it, no one's perfect. There will be times where you get 70% through the audit and realize that there are mistakes made that you would rather not report on. You would rather just get the accountant to change so that you can continue and sign off on the audit. Okay, so at any stage, and SuperMate is the addition to this, and BGL Desktop is also an option. So with all of our integrated partners, at any point, if the data is changed in the software where the fund is prepared, you can select re-import lead schedule from the dashboard, and you have an option. Okay, if it's a complete mess and you need to start from scratch and forget all the work that you've done, you select delete existing data. That's not very popular. The most popular option, because that means all the work that you've done, all of the tags, all of the comments, all of the checklists that you've already marked, you lose all of that and you go back to 0% completion. However, override existing data. Okay, and I'll do this. I'll actually progress through it. Override existing data will actually change the data in the software and bring it across where it has changed. We'll provide you with a report. Now, I haven't changed anything, so it'll be blank, but we'll provide you with a report. So it'll say, let's say ANZ closing balance was X amount, now it's Y amount. Okay, so you'll know what you need to go and change within the audit, and you'll know if the accountant has done what you wanted to do. At any stage, okay, if ever there is, we know that you don't work on one job at a time. At any stage, if you kind of need a reminder as to what was changed, you can click on re-import lead schedule and the change report will always be there. Okay, now also, further to that, each time you import, we create a new version of the analytical procedure. Now, the analytical procedure is the summary of everything, of every section, essentially. Okay, so you'll be able to, it opens in a new tab. Okay, so you'll be able to drag version 2 across to a new screen, okay, which you can't see, I'm aware of that, and then open version 3, and then do a comparative to be able to see what changed. If you have to re-import many times, we always keep a history so that you have a version of each import as it occurred. Okay, and to clarify your question, Ethan, I hadn't actually completed anything here, but all of the tags that you placed, all of the comments that you made, and all of your checklists will remain exactly what they were. You won't lose any of the work that you've done. Okay, so Ethan, I hope that that addressed your question. If not, please reach out offline. I can see another question here from Alice. will the comments, highlighting, and bookmarks now print on the downloaded version? Alice, no. Again, that is some overwhelming feedback that we have. At the moment, when we attach the documents in your final audit file, this file here, okay, we provide you with every document that was tagged. However, the tags aren't a part of that. Now, creating that is a challenge. Okay, it is something that is on the roadmap. However, the combination of the final PDF file with our new read-only mode that a reviewer can be provided will provide a summary of each checklist and who marked it and any comments that were made, as well as with the read-only mode, they will only have access to the jobs that you have assigned them to view, and they won't be able to make any changes accidentally as they progress to see where you've placed your tags. Okay, so I guess to summarize there, Alice, at the moment, no, but it has been suggested by many clients, and it's under development, but it has some challenges, some coding challenges for the team. Okay, and I guess to answer your question, Xander, which was asked directly after, no, when you print, the bookmarks and tags won't be visible. Okay, so the bookmarks and tags and comments exist in Cloudoffis. As I mentioned before, so that we can keep the speed. We don't save a new version of your PDF every time you make a change for a particular line item. Okay, so we do keep the original version, which is why they currently don't become a permanent fixture on that PDF if you exported it elsewhere. Okay, now just scrolling through. Forgive me for those of you that I've skipped questions, but I will come back to you. Yes, Carly, to answer your question, we did identify something previously which has been replicated, but yes, when you re-import the data, okay, the financial reports that we bring across from the software will also update. Okay, now for those of you that are aware, there was at a time a while ago with a particular software, I'm not going to name names, but the general ledger wasn't updating. That is no longer the case. Okay, so to answer your question directly, yes, yes, we do. And we also reanalyze the observations. Okay, so the observations with the new data, any observations that were made because we re-import the reports will actually update too. Okay, so Mohammed's asked the question, how do we lock the file? So the answer to that question is from your audit job queue. I'm just going to go back a step because this is something that I know I do see clients not using. They keep all of their jobs active, which is really, you're sort of robbing yourself of a tool, I believe, because we do have the audit report which shows the status, which I'll run through before we finish up, seeing that we do have time. So to answer your question directly, Mohammed, all of your active jobs are in the My Audit Job queue. Once you have finished a job, the example I'll use is 2017. Okay, obviously it's 0%, but I'm going to finish it anyway. And the way to do that is to actually change status. Okay, so I did that from the dashboard. If I was on another page, okay, so if I was on this page and I was ready to close off, I've got two options. Okay, so I can use this slide over here to open up that menu, or we always have, of course, the shortcut menu over here where we can change, oh, there it is, change the status. I nearly lost it myself. So at the top here, we click that little pencil and that will open up the same. So many places you can actually mark this as complete. And the moment that you mark it as complete, okay, and hopefully this additional enhancement may encourage people to take advantage of completing the job, which will perform a few functions. One would be to clear up their My Audit Job queue. So they're only looking at jobs that are active in this queue, and then populate into the completed audit job queue. Okay, so every job that has been marked as complete will then go here. Administrators have the ability to either generate the final audit file or unlock the audit file from this queue. And the moment that I unlock it, it will go back to the My Audit Job queue. And just to repeat what I said earlier, if it is actually a completed job and you open it from an active job, it will open in read-only mode. And I should state as well that from this queue, if you click here, it will open the job in a new tab in read-only mode. Okay, so that answer, I guess, aligns with our enhancement to the completed jobs and our new read-only mode functionality. Okay, so now I have, I'll just close that down there. Now I have 2017 audit job open. There is no way that I can accidentally create a timestamp a year later, I guess, okay, because it is locked. Okay, and any comments that I made, I am repeating myself and I apologize for those that were with us earlier. I can just copy this and paste it into the new year if it was a comment that I'd like to carry forward. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so Jenny's asked a question here. The document section. Okay, Jenny, I'll actually I'll have to clarify that with you so that I answer it correctly. If anybody else has any other questions, I'm just going to go up to some of the earlier questions. I actually must have done some fast talking when I practiced this earlier, what I was going to go through. It took me more than an hour. So obviously practice improves efficiency. I'm sure you would all agree there. One thing that I would like to run through before I finish up is these particular webinars. Okay, these provide me with the ability to tell you about our releases instantly, and will do in future. However, as you know, we do like to keep this page updated, or this area updated. Okay, so for those of you that were using SuperMate and now need new instructions due to the recent API integration, we have created new instructions and a new video on the steps on how to do that. Okay, and for those of you that are looking, we don't have, I'm actually, one of my #1 priorities at the moment is to create a page for all of the new tools, or all of the tools, new and old, that are available on our new PDF viewer. Okay, so you will see within this Manage Audit Jobs very soon, you will see some additional help pages to align with what has been released with 3.2. Okay, now I guess there's nothing like time, and I'm not getting any other questions. If you have a question, I've still got 8 minutes up my sleeve. I can see that some members have left, but we still have a fair audience with us. So if you do have a question, by all means, ask. Oh, and Jenny, someone has already answered your question, which is great. I thank you, Sonia, for doing that. Sorry guys, trying to multitask at the moment and talk and read. Being a male, I struggle a little. Okay, Cynthia, you've asked a question. If you create a query, can you edit before submit? It's a great question. I'm going to actually try that live. I believe you can. Let's take a look. Okay, so I'm going to go into, actually I'll use this job and create a query from scratch. Okay, so let's, probably not a great place to raise a query. Let's say that I need an engagement letter or something. So if I create a query here, I will make it external. I will ask for, please. Okay, I'm just going to publish that. Okay, and then I'm going to go to my queries and review points menu. Okay. No, to answer your question, at the moment, and I now would imagine, Cynthia, that would become a suggestion. What I can do is I can actually reply to it. Okay, so perhaps ignore above. I actually have it. Okay, so I have the ability to actually create a new message within that query that I raised, but no, to actually change what you have created isn't a possibility. Okay, so when I send this over to the fund administrator, and I've just done that, I'll just quickly go to the fund administrators portal, which I still have open. Again, just as a reminder, all external queries, access testing. Oops, it's a 2018 job that I'm working on now. Okay, so now I can see that originally, please provide engagement letter, ignore the above, I actually have it. Okay, you wouldn't send that to them. So what I guess what you have the choice to do is not send it to them. But again, if there were other queries, you can't actually remove it prior to sending. So yes, very good question. Thank you for that, Cynthia. And I believe we already have a suggestion for that. I'm just getting a memory triggered, but if not, it'll be on the roadmap soon. Okay, so again, just going up to some of the earlier questions. For those of you that I've missed, I apologize again. Okay, so last question has come from Mohammed. Mohammed, your question relates to the electronic tags that come through from PDF. To find that, if they exist, let me just go back to the right portal. The way to find those is within the PDF viewer. We have an additional pane that has been added. I'll get to it in a moment. Okay, so let's search for this so we can find the right doc. Okay, so it's this pane over here. So more than likely, Mohammed, if you're asking that question, you may have that collapsed. Okay, so this particular button here, if you hover over it, it says toggle side panel. When you open that, the middle icon, which looks like a bookmark, I guess when you hover over it, it says outline. That is where previously placed electronic PDF tags prior to upload will exist. Okay, so just to confirm so there's no confusion, the tags that you place don't have a bearing on this menu whatsoever. This menu only has the tags that existed on the PDF using a different PDF editing software prior to uploading into Cloudoffis. Okay, so hopefully, Mohammed, that's answered your questions. And I guess we're coming to time. The last thing I want to do after all of this stalling is go over time. So guys, I do thank you for attending today. The moment that you leave, you will receive a survey with about 9 questions on it. Very simple, not text answers for each, multiple choice. And we do ask you for suggestions. Okay, as you know, we take suggestions very seriously. What the portal is now compared to the day I started are 2 very different things. Many of the clients that have joined us today would agree that, many clients joined us before the dashboard was even an option in Cloudoffis, so we have come a long way. Again, I do thank you for joining today, and if you require anything, by all means, reach out directly to our support team. I would also like, and I probably am going to open this up a little late, and I apologize to Sonia. I know our marketing guru is on the line at the moment, but we are also providing updates via social media. Okay, so many of you may not be aware that Cloudoffis has a Facebook page, has a LinkedIn page, and has a Twitter feed. And many of the updates regarding our releases, as well as regarding our attendance at some conferences, the recent conference being the SMSF Association, if you would like to be kept abreast of what's going on in Cloudoffis, choose your social media of poison and follow us. Okay, so again, guys, thanks for joining and have a wonderful day.